Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amanda and this is Pixie Dusted Days. Today we're going to do an Ask Me Anything of our last Walt Disney World trip. So a while back I asked on Instagram, is there anything that you would like to know about our last Disney trip? Ask me whatever it is that you want, and you guys came through. Thank you so much for all of your questions. I will try to get to everything. If you're coming from the vlog series, thank you so much for watching. I am a new channel, so any kind of watching, liking, subscribing, it does nothing but help my channel grow. If you haven't watched those vlogs, feel free to go back and watch them. So go ahead and grab a coffee, grab a tea, just sit back, hang out, answer some Disney questions, and I hope you enjoy. Let's go ahead and get into the questions. We have a guest with us. This is Rocky. He's gonna hang out with us while we answer some Disney questions. You wanna talk about Disney World? You wanna talk about Disney World? Okay, yeah, thank you, buddy. I've broken up the questions into a few different categories. So we have Riviera Resort, General Disney, Shopping, Trip Specific, DVC, and Future. So we're going to start with Riviera Resort. A lot of these are around Topolino's. So my first question is, how was your experience staying at Riviera Resort? Would you recommend it to non-DVC members? Riviera Resort is my favorite resort, spoiler alert, but it's my favorite resort. It's our home resort. And we stay there a lot because we just really enjoy it. It's very relaxing. So absolutely, I'd recommend it to DVC and non-DVC members. Something that I don't think that people realize, because it is a DVC resort, meaning that it was built for DVC members, anybody can pay cash for those same rooms. So something that kind of gets misconstrued if you're not in the DVC world is the term paying cash. Paying cash just means that you're not using points for it. So by a DVC resort, what I mean is the resort was built for DVC. Every single one of those rooms are bookable for DVC. A key difference with that resort versus a non-DVC resort, like the Contemporary. The Contemporary Resort is just that. It is the Contemporary Resort. And then there is Bay Lake Tower at the Contemporary. That is the DVC tower. So that is what is bookable through points. Yes, you can pay cash for those just as well, but that is what is bookable through DVC, not the regular Contemporary rooms. So again, that's probably very confusing if you don't know the DVC world. So our experience staying at the Riviera Resort, I would highly recommend it to everybody, DVC and non-DVC. And it's the resort that we're very relaxed at, and I like the pools. We don't have kids, so I don't care about slides and things like that. I care about a quiet, relaxing pool, and I find that is very easy to come by at the Riviera. We also like the food options there. I love the coffee area. I call it the library. I actually don't know what it's called, but I call it the library. I like that area to just go and relax, or if one of us needs to get work done, we don't want to hang out in the room, that's an easy place to go. So we just really like the Riviera Resort. So I'm very happy that that is our home resort. Did you take advantage of any events or activities at Riviera Resort while you stay? We didn't specifically, but they do have Movie Under the Stars. I think that they have yoga. Some of the resorts have yoga. I remember doing one at Boardwalk, but that was like 2019. That was pre-pandemic. One thing that I do really like is they have these huge games out on the lawn area, and Chip was playing, was it Chip? No, Dale. Dale was playing Connect Four with somebody. And I just love that the characters kind of wander around and interact with the guests there. Now to the Topolino's questions. Can you go on the patio at Topolino's if you don't have a reservation? Yes, you can go to the patio and the bar area if you don't have a reservation, but it is first come, first serve. Deciding between Topolino's for breakfast or dinner, which is better? I think better is very subjective. If you're looking for a nice, slower paced meal, more upscale food, dinner is definitely it. I love dinner there. It is one of our most relaxing dinners that we do. We get there a little bit early and we go and we grab a drink at the bar and we go out on the patio and we just relax out there and take in the view. If you're there at the right time, you can see fireworks from the patio as well. I think you can see that in the vlog where we eat dinner at Topolino's. We had a fireworks view during our meal. It was absolutely beautiful. Breakfast is a very different experience at Topolino's. It is a character dining breakfast. It is my favorite character dining breakfast. The food is delicious. The food is, I think it's leveled up from other character dining breakfasts, definitely leveled up from a buffet character dining. And I just love the character interactions because it's Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, and Donald, and they are dressed in these artistic costumes. Like Minnie's a writer, Daisy's a ballet dancer, Donald's a sculptor, and Mickey's a painter. And they just look adorable. I was very excited to meet all of them, especially I was very excited to meet Minnie, but my best character interaction there was actually Daisy. Sad to tell Daisy, but she's the least favorite of those four. What's better? It's totally subjective. If you want a quiet, slower meal, go for dinner. If you want to have a really good character dining experience in a beautiful setting with really good food, go for breakfast. So personally speaking, I would do both again, but I think we would be doing dinner more often just because we don't do a lot of character dining. What is your favorite Topolino's dish? I think it has to be the steak. Yeah, I would say the steak. I think the steak is my favorite dish. That vegan cake though, if I got to choose a dessert for this, that is definitely one of my favorites. Now to general Disney. So let's start with this one. What is your favorite Disney resort? Just doing Walt Disney World, I've already said it, it's Riviera. If I'm including Disneyland in there, that is so hard to decide because the Grand Californian is stunning, but I love the Disneyland Hotel. I love how nostalgic it is. So that's a really hard decision. And also, my favorite Disney resort might change after we get back from Paris because of where we're staying at Paris, and I'm very excited for it. So it might change. I never know. But right now it's Riviera Resort. Would you do a Disney cruise? Absolutely, I'd do a Disney cruise. I would do a Disney cruise again. So Alex and I went on our first Disney cruise for our part of our honeymoon. We did a land and sea combination honeymoon. So that means that we went on our Disney cruise first, and then we went to Walt Disney World afterwards. And we sailed on the Disney Dream. It was an absolute dream. We stayed concierge on the Disney Dream. After that cruise, I had been wanting to cruise again, and we finally did in February of 23, and we went on the Wish, and it was amazing. Like, I loved cruising the first time I went, and then going again just put the stamp on it. What is your dream Disney resort to stay at? My previous dream Disney resort to stay at was Animal Kingdom Lodge. Right now, I think my goal resort, I wouldn't necessarily call it like a dream, but it is like a goal one, is I want to stay at Beach Club because I have not stayed at Beach Club before and I really want to go in their pool. And the only way to use that pool is to be staying at Yacht or Beach Club. And I really want to go in that pool. I used to not utilize the pools, and now that I am, that's one that I actually am looking forward to trying. Do you have a Disney bucket list? Yeah. We have a Disney bucket list for sure. We're very fortunate that we go often enough where we've ticked off a lot of those things. I think this is on like everybody's Disney bucket list. On my Disney bucket list is for sure eating at the Disneyland Club 33. I would love to go there just because I think it would be such an amazing experience. We're huge Disney nerds and there's so much Disney history at Club 33. It is my dream to be able to go in there and see different artifacts and things from when Disneyland was being drawn up and thought of and how they came up with things. So I am such a huge Disney nerd that going to Club 33 would just mean so much to me. But given that that is not necessarily an easy thing to be able to do, there are obviously other things on that bucket list. Like we did Wild Africa Trek, that was on my Disney bucket list. We've done a VIP tour, also on our bucket list. Like one of the things on my Disney bucket list is such a simple thing, but we just haven't gotten around to doing it. But I want to go get beignets at Port Orleans. We're never over at Port Orleans. We've stayed there before, but aside from that, we don't go visit that resort. So we don't go and get beignets very often. So our next trip, I think that's something that we want to go do. Because of where we're staying, it's going to be more easily accessible to be able to get over to Port Orleans. And I want beignets. Ever since we went to New Orleans, I have had such a craving for beignets, and granted, nothing is going to come close to New Orleans, but I really, really want beignets. So that's also on my Disney bucket list. It's always growing and always changing. Why do you rent a car? We started out renting a car during COVID. When we had gone during the distancing, we just felt safer being in a car that we had, and it just was something that stuck. So we've been renting a car ever since. And it is very convenient to rent a car. It is another expense, I will say that. So if you don't want to have that expense, or if you don't like driving on vacation, or the idea of driving at a place like Walt Disney World is overwhelming to you, then don't rent a car. There's so much Disney transportation. Highly recommend using that. And this leads right into my next question. What is your favorite Disney transportation? The Skyliner. I love the Skyliner. After the Skyliner, probably a boat, but I really like the Skyliner. I could sit on it and just like ride around it to the different resorts and the stops for like hours. It's just so relaxing. Is it easy to eat dairy-free at Disney? Absolutely. It is so easy, especially now. In comparison to 10 years ago, it's entirely different. When it was like 10 years ago, there were not options on a menu. Every single meal, I had to talk to the chef, and it was always some sort of an amendment. Now that they have the allergy-friendly menus, it makes my life so much easier. When you go on the app and you make your reservation, you could just put that you have a dairy allergy. They're already aware of it before I show up. So it has gotten so much easier, and it's actually one of the places that I feel safest eating at. I know how seriously Disney takes diet restrictions and allergies. And even on the cruise ships, I will say, even 10 years ago when we were on the Dream, that was the first time that I really felt relaxed going somewhere new with a dairy allergy, because it wasn't as common back then to be adjusting things for different allergies. So now, oh my gosh, it's absolutely easy. What is your favorite festival for Epcot? Watching Flower and Garden was so fun. It's Flower and Garden. It used to be Food and Wine. However, in the last probably like 4 years, 5 years, it's definitely shifted to Flower and Garden. I think that the food is so much better, because I think that a lot of stuff at Food and Wine, while it's very good, it's heavier. And I do not want to be eating heavy food in the heat. That's just not my vibe. I'm not there for that. But I really like the Flower and Garden food. Also, Flower and Garden is just so pretty. Everything is so gorgeous. Everything's so bright and cheery and floral, and so it just makes me very happy to be there for Flower and Garden. We are going to Festival of the Arts though, and it's Alex's first time at Festival of the Arts, and it's my first time there not working, because the last time that I went to Festival of the Arts, I was a Disney travel agent, and I didn't have enough time to really enjoy the festival because I was working while I was there. I was doing other things while I was there. So this is really my first real time experiencing Festival of the Arts. So I'll get back to you if that one becomes my favorite. Now that you've seen Moana Journey of Water during the day and the night, which do you prefer? I think I prefer night, but I am a sucker for like uplighting and any kind of twinkling light. I'm such a sucker for it, and water. So it's actually the perfect combination for me. I really like Moana Journey of Water. It's just a nice area to go and get away from, running from attraction to attraction, but you're still very entertained in it. And especially with Spaceship Earth twinkling behind it, it's just so beautiful. Do you have a first and last day Disney tradition? Our first day tradition is always the monorail game. What's the first monorail that we're gonna see? And we always each take a color, and whoever's color shows up first wins, or if neither of our colors show up, then it's just a draw. I don't know how we started doing that, but we started doing that, and we do it every single trip. Like, what's the first monorail we see? What is in your Disney bag? And then also, what is your favorite bag? I think that this requires its own video, what's in my Disney bag, because it does change. But my favorite bag for Disney is either my Brevity backpack. I absolutely love it, and they're very comfortable, and they wash in the washer, and they don't, it's hard to explain, but like everything doesn't just sink to the bottom of it, so it's not just like everything's weighing on your lower back. So I either use my Brevity bag, or I use a Stony Clover fanny pack, especially the jumbos. I use that all the time now. As I've gotten older, my camera has gotten smaller, so I can actually fit everything in my Stony Clover jumbo bag now. This one's quick. Shopping. Your outfits are so simple and cute. Where do you get your Disney clothes? I get my Disney clothes a lot from Shop Disney, a lot from Target. I have started finding clothes at like H&M, American Eagle. There's also a lot of small shops out there that you can find. I also find a lot of stuff on Etsy. I also wear a lot of non-Disney merchandise, and I kind of accessorize it with Disney stuff like a Stony Clover or a different backpack or ears and jewelry. I also really like Cakeworthy. Everyone asked me where those jeans were from with the Mickeys on them. Those are from Cakeworthy. They always have such cute items, and I have been wearing Cakeworthy forever, like before they were licensed by Disney. I have a picture of me from our honeymoon, and it's in like their original Cinderella Coach shirt that I feel like everybody had back then. It was definitely the 2010s. It was 2015, and it was a moment, but I love Cakeworthy. My favorite Disney shop for ears is BB Brooke. I really like her ears. They're very comfortable on me, and she's licensed by Disney, so you know you're getting a good product. Trip specific questions. Was after hours worth it? This is another one of those questions that's very subjective, but worth it is all what you put into it. I think after hours is worth it because we're able to get on a lot of rides and not really wait in line. However, there are also a lot of things that are closed, so you also have to keep that in mind. I love the after hours events. I like having left. So my memory card just filled up, and I also just realized that I didn't have my ring light on the entire time. If the lighting's changed, that's because I made a mistake. We were able to see 2 fireworks shows, so we were able to see Happily Ever After and Enchantment, and we were able to truly compare them. I was there for the closing night of Enchantment and the opening night of Happily Ever After, and Alex wasn't there for that. He wasn't able to make that direct comparison, and I think it was fun for us to make that comparison together. The crowds are so much lighter at after hours events because it's a hard ticketed event, meaning you have to pay an extra surcharge in order to go, and you have to have a ticket for it for that specific night. So yes, it's worth it. Mind you, we do get discounts on it because we have DVC and annual pass, so it could be more worth it to us than some other people. I could understand that. It's pretty pricey, so if you have a family going, the price can get kind of steep. So I understand why people could be hesitant about it, but if you're really looking to get on a lot of rides in a short period of time, the after hours events are the way to do it, and the parties. The only thing that was disappointing about the after hours event, and it's kind of beyond their control, is that Tron was down for the entire time. So something had to have happened mechanically to make it go down for the entire night. We weren't able to ride Tron at night, which was a little disappointing, but it was okay. We were able to get on it on our planned Magic Kingdom day. So this is a good next question. Do you not like rides? You didn't go on very many. So clearly this person watched our vlogs. We didn't go on a lot of rides that trip, which is shocking to us because that was actually very different for us. We are huge ride people. We really like attractions. We can go on attractions over and over, and we don't really get bored with them. That being said, since we are so fortunate to be able to go to Disney as often as we do, we wanted to try different things. We wanted to go at a more relaxed pace. We have had very stressful times in our lives right now that just being able to sleep in and not get to a park when it opens, not staying up super late, trying out different restaurants or going to the lounges was a very fun part of the trip for us. But we actually do go on a lot of rides. There's not one Disney ride that I don't do. There is one Disney ride that I don't prefer to do, and it's Mission Space Orange. I don't even care about Mission Space Green. So there are rides that aren't entertaining to us, but there's not one ride that I won't do at Disney World. I absolutely love rides, and I look forward to the new attractions opening up. What did you think of Flying Fish? Oh my gosh, I loved Flying Fish. That is one of my new favorite restaurants on property. Absolutely loved Flying Fish. It was so delicious. Our service was great. The ambiance was beautiful. It wasn't loud. It wasn't crowded. I think it's a very underrated restaurant, and I know that we will be going back. Absolutely. This upcoming trip that we have at the beginning of 2025. Wow. I can't believe I'm saying 2025. Wow. We will 100% be eating at Flying Fish. What is one thing you wish you packed and you didn't? I am a notorious overpacker. There's not anything that I really wish that I had packed that I didn't pack with me. So, my dogs? I don't know. I don't know. So much was new to you this trip. What was your favorite new thing you did? It was probably flying fish or Nomad Lounge. We really liked Nomad Lounge. That's another thing we're going to return to. Notice that you drink a lot of mocktails. Thanks for sharing. What is your favorite? Ooh, my favorite mocktail that I just ordered normally is Zero Proof Bee's Knees. It's a gin-based cocktail normally, but it's very easy to be made into a mocktail. I'm definitely a mocktail drinker. I don't not drink alcohol. I just normally have like one thing and then that's it. I go to mocktails from there. I just don't like the way the alcohol really makes me feel. So I drink a lot of mocktails. So if you want mocktail inspo, I got you. Either that one or I think it was called Jen's Tattoo at Nomad Lounge. That one's really good too. What is your favorite and least favorite part of this trip? My favorite part of the trip was probably the pace that we took everything at. It was a lot slower than we normally do, and we got to try a lot of new things. My least favorite part of the trip was me losing my luggage. That was definitely the least favorite part of that trip. It's never happened to me before. And thankfully it wasn't like truly lost. It was just not on our flight and it didn't arrive, but I had it tracked. So it wasn't like actually lost. It was just a minor inconvenience. What is your favorite memory from this trip? My favorite memory is probably the flying fish night. Yeah, probably the flying fish night because we had a really good dinner at Flying Fish. Alex and I were just like in a really good, silly, goofy mood. We actually got a lot of sleep because we were exhausted the day before because we were up for over 24 hours. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a really good night and we went to Disney Springs, we got Gideon's. It was just a lot of fun. So the next couple questions are DVC questions and I'm going to keep these pretty high level because I think I'm going to just end up doing a whole DVC video. Comment down below if you think that would be useful to you. The DVC questions I do have is, do you own DVC or rent points? We own DVC. So our home resort is the Riviera. We bought DVC in 2019. I have noticed a surge in people renting points, and I think that's an amazing option, not just for people who don't want to own DVC, but it's also a great option for DVC owners because if we don't have the ability to roll our points, it does give us the ability to rent them out to families that want to go on a Disney trip and want to stay at a DVC resort, but they don't own DVC. These next two questions are what really made me think I just need to do a whole video on this. How does DVC work? It is such a loaded question. Basic answer is you own points at a Disney home resort and you make a monthly payment on those points until it is paid off. You get those points allotted to you every single year and you can book any DVC resort using those points, but there are time restraints on that. So in a DVC video, I will get into further details about that, but that is the simplest definition of how does DVC work. You own kind of like a timeshare. It's Disney's version of a timeshare. Is DVC worth it? For us, it's 100% worth it because we use it. We use up our points. If we don't use every single one of our points, we bank them. I'll explain banking and borrowing in that other video, but we bank our points over to the following year and we'll upgrade our room or something along those lines, or we'll stay for a longer period of time, or we'll go on another trip. So DVC to us is definitely worth it. Plus you get discounts on your annual pass. That is another perk to us that makes DVC very worth it. The next set of questions I categorized as future. So what's upcoming? First question is, just found your Instagram and your channel. I'm loving all of it. Will you be posting more trips? Absolutely, I will. I actually really like doing this. I have been filming our trips for years. I have even a little passion project that I want to work on, and I will be posting more of our trips. I post on my Instagram stories all the time. I've been doing that since I had my Disney Instagram, I've been doing that since stories were created on Instagram. I always post our trips in the moment on my Insta story. So follow me on Instagram at Pixie Dusted Days. I will definitely be sharing more of our trips on YouTube. Will you ever take the dogs to Disney? Rocky, this question's for you. Do you want to go to Disney World? Oh, you're sleepy, sleepy boy. We've always wanted to take the dogs to Disney, but our past Sheltie Copper, we knew he wasn't going to be able to deal with the heat at Disney, so we never ended up bringing him. But I think we could do that for Rocky and Penny. When is your next trip? Our next Disney World trip is not until February of 25, but our next Disney trip is coming up next month, and it is in Disneyland Paris. So we're going to Paris, and we're going to Disneyland Paris, and I am so excited. It's our first international park. We cannot wait. I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very excited. All right, that is a wrap on the questions. Thank you everyone who submitted questions in my DM or answered my Instagram story or commented on YouTube. If you like this video, comment down below. Let me know what was your favorite question that I answered. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.